Hello and welcome to week 2 of the GTSport Club 100 Championship. We're here at Mount Fuji Raceway in Japan for round 3. As you can see, the qualifier has just started. We're just heading out onto a track with the majority of drivers. We'll just set the stand cameras so we can actually see all the information we need. So, just looking through the housekeeping for today's race, we currently have a full grid of 14 cars. Freddie Gallagher can't join us today. He was due to continue his run after finishing 8th in round 1, but he has found a replacement in. Find him on track somewhere. There we go, in the pits at the moment, Rory 7, who's going to be taking over Freddie's seat for this week. We will be scoring points for the team, but only scoring Drivers' Championship points for himself. Rory out on the track with 8 minutes 40 remaining. The teams and cars stay the same as they did last week, so there is your current second place in the championship, Ryan Sandell. Remembering back to last week that this is round 3, but we've only had 2 races so far in the championship due to some connections issues last week. Nothing that can be done about that, but we will be rerunning that event later on in the year, in the month, depending when we can fit that in. It might run on to week 5 at the moment. Not 100% sure on that. So we'll ride on board, hopefully with, there we go, on board with Ryan Sandell, and we can take a look around this Fuji shack. Built in the 1960s on the foothills of Mount Fuji. The circuit was brought by Toyota in 2000 and is most known for running a few Grand Prix, most notably the 1976 Grand Prix where James Hunt won the World Championship. Also more recently the 2007-2008 Japanese Grand Prix. Remembering the 2007 one, most memorable of a wet weather drive by Lewis Hamilton, and crash between Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber under the safety car just before they became teammates. The circuit has 16 turns and is 4.563 kilometres in length. We're not running the full circuit today, they call it Fuji Short. The only thing we're doing is missing out the chicane at the end of the back straight. Hardly noticeable really. But it does mean that our lap times are reduced down to a 1:32, 1:33. There's Ryan going in nice and early with a 32.5 on his first lap. Oh, and just having a look there, Nathan has just actually, our championship leader and second place on the grid last time out, looking for pole position to continue his championship lead, is Nathan, and he's managed to take provisional pole on the first runs by 0.037 of a second. Ryan and Nathan were very much close together during the opening race of the season at Autopillies. So close that the lag was actually making them look like they were hitting each other, but the two guys couldn't see each other on the screen because of the lag, so that produced a brilliant race for us to watch as Nathan goes even quicker in the middle sector. But it didn't affect them because they couldn't see each other, which is a bit of a godsend because they couldn't really affect each other's driving. But to us it looked like we were pretty much hitting each other off the track, but obviously that wasn't happening. So Nathan coming around final corner onto the main straight now. It's a really long straight, I think it's one of the longest. I think it is the longest in Japan as a racetrack. rivaling the Chinese track at Shanghai. There we go. Nathan improves on that lap, but Ryan brings out a 0.3 of a second gap to take pole position so far. That is a great lap by Ryan. I'm not sure you'll be able to improve too much on that. Looking a bit further back, Martin Robinson, unlucky in the first race, him and teammate Sam Dimlow coming together in turn 3 at Alta Police, but Martin showed well in the non-championship race we ran straight afterwards, and he's kept up that form to sit third on the grid, just ahead of Trevor Randall, who we know is one of the quickest in this group. Tim Clark in 5th at the moment. That'd be matching his finishing position at Alta Police. Jack in 6th, coming back out of the pit. Callum Burrell 7th. Jay Elliott 8th. Sam Dimlow 9th, trying to match his teammate Martin Robinson. Following Jay round at the moment, actually. Eric Mignon in 10th. Ooh, Kira just coming back onto track in 11th. Peter Harris in 12th. Our newcomer Rory 7 in 13th, and Andrew Maffer currently 14th. I don't think with a, there we go, a 1:34.5 currently, so 2.5 seconds covering the field, only just behind Rory 7 on that lap by Andrew. I know Andrew was driving iRacing earlier in the week, I think it was on Sunday night, so how much time he's had to practice for this I'm not 100% sure, but it's such a competitive field that it'd be impossible without lots of practice to be straight back on the pace after being on a different game. So recent. So we look back at Ryan, track limits gone there, so Ryan will have to make it round to try and go for another lap. We'll look further back, there's Nathan actually going past Ryan, he's got a track limits penalty. So it'll be down to Martin to move, try and improve. He doesn't in the first sector, and also that curb catch is well caught there by Martin. Just caught the curb, swung out wide and caught the slide, but he won't be wanting too many of them. Callum Brewell there moved up into 4th place. Now Callum finished in 4th in round 1, qualified 6th, so keeping up relative pace to what we expect from him in that number 6 Porsche. It says 4 on the side, it's 6 on the front. Teammate 2, Tim Clark, who's just actually close behind. I don't know whether these two are working in tandem to get the slipstream down this main straight, but Tim is probably close enough to get some kind of slipstream there, and he's not far off Trevor Randall's pace, so will he be able to pick Trevor for 5th in a second across the line? No, actually Trevor actually moves up into 3rd. A great lap there by Trevor, just pipping Martin Robinson into 3rd. But the battle at the front still continues. Ryan and Nathan now on to their next laps. We'll follow Nathan round on board the front of his car as he goes quickest in the first sector. And he keeps it within track limits this time round there. Now these long, fast corners at Fuji, it is really a debate on your driving style, which gear you use. Nathan there running a slightly higher gear, I can hear, through the corner to keep the back end in check as we head down to where the chicane has been removed here at Fuji, and it's continuing to be an improvement for Nathan, but he's still got to find a couple of attempts in this final sector through caution to win through there, and he's sideways into that corner. I suspect this is going to now be a slower lap, but he will get one more, 47 seconds remaining of the session. Keeps it within track limits again, so easy to run wide on these corners. As Nathan runs it out wide to get a good run onto the straight, we'll run it to the line and see what he's going to get as his lap time. Will he be able to find any of the 3 attempts forward to Ryan? Crosses the line, a bit further down, there we go. No, still lost 3 attempts within slides in the middle sector and final sector. And further back, Tim Clark has must have got a brilliant slipstream off Callum Brewell there. You can see the 2 teammates really close together there. But Tim Clark has moved up into 3rd place. Great lap by him after qualifying 7th last time out, so much improved result, and only then very close to Nathan. But the qualifying session has officially finished now, so everybody is on their last laps. We'll just see if we can find something. I think Martin's now finished. Yes, that looks like he's finished. Currently 5th. Callum off the track there, rejoining, so he's finished for the day. Jack Cameron coming round the final corner. He's kept to the rear in track limits. Can he improve on 7th place? He's got to find half a second to close down on Callum. So I suspect he will stay in 7th place, but we'll see as he crosses his line. No improvement there for Callum. Oh, we got Jay Elliott off in the gravel. I think he's given up on that. We will follow Andrew Maffer now across the line. He's moved himself up into 11th ahead of Kiref, who's in the pits, so that's his qualifying session over. Andrew only 2 seconds off the pace now, so slowly closing that gap down. And now 1.8, but stays 11th. Continual improvements there by Andrew to move up into 11th place. Kiref, as we said, in the pits. There's Peter Harris. Rory 7, bringing up rear of the grid, but only a 10th off Peter. It's a good start by Rory, considering he hasn't had practice in these cars. There's Nathan crosses the line, no improvement. There's improvement there for Sam Dimolo, who stays 10th with that lap, but an improvement in lap time. So I don't think there is anybody else to cross the line now. No, it doesn't look like it. So we have got our grid set, and it's pole position for the 2nd time this year for Ryan Sandell, and with Nathan Maximum alongside him on the grid. These two drivers cannot be separated this season. 3rd on the grid we have Tim Clark and Trevor Randall in 4th. Martin Robinson 5th, and Callum Brewer in 6th. Yet again, these white cars for the team doing a good job of keeping a solid result going. We're now just waiting for the lights. We've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go here at Fuji. Great start by the front row men. Trevor Randall moving up into 3rd ahead of Tim Clark. Ryan Sandell defends at the front. Will we all get through turn 1? It's looking a bit close behind. Oh, we've got a few cars off there at the back actually, but we've got Ryan Sandell leading from Nathan Maximum. Tim Clark has got back up into 3rd place alongside Trevor Randall. Don't touch, guys. Oh, that was such close racing between them two. There was actually a track limits penalty there for Tim Clark, so he'll be looking to get rid of that as soon as he can. Martin Robinson and Callum Brewer fighting it out there with Eric Mignon. A good start by Eric to be hanging on to the back of his pack, and Eric will want good points for the team, with Nathan obviously winning race 1 last weekend. Eric finishing in 10th place, so Eric will be looking for another top 10 and an improvement in points for the team. We look for that. There's Eric. There is Rory 7, up from 14th to 8th on the opening lap. A great start there by Rory, taking advantage of the cars running wide. As you see behind Jay Elliott diving up the inside of Kirov. Solid move there, but a slow down penalty again to get rid of the junior race. I don't know officially, I believe there is a gentleman's agreement to get rid of these penalties within 2 laps, but I won't hold myself to that. As we look further ahead, Martin Robinson again having a go at Callum Brewer as Tim Clark goes up the inside of Trevor Randall to take 3rd place. And we have a battle for the lead with Nathan Maximum on the outside of Ryan Sandell. We have seen this not really work, this outside line. Ryan making Nathan work around the outside of every corner, but Nathan's going to have done it. Nathan has done it and taken the lead, and defends into the next corner with Ryan Sandell close behind. These two again trying to run away with it early on. Will Ryan be able to fight back? down into the corner without a chicane. It is a very quick corner now without that chicane. It's going to be very hard to outbrake somebody into there. Oh, Nathan's gone wide there. Ryan clips the apex and sets him up into the next corner. Great move there by Ryan Sundell. Is he going to make it complete? No, Nathan keeps it around the outside, and these two are going to be battling like this all race long. But what that battle is doing is allowing Tim Clark, Trevor Randall, Martin Robinson and Callum Gill to close up on these two. And if they stay in a straight line and slipstream each other down this straight, while Nathan and Brian are side by side like this, it's going to be a 6-car fight for the lead. You can see there Ryan and Nathan couldn't be any closer in terms of top speed down the straight. Who will brake latest? It's Ryan Sundell who takes the lead again, but it's early laps. It's only the start of lap 3. We've still got 16.5 minutes remaining, and this battle will go on for that long. Currently the fastest lap up of the race goes to Martin Robinson in 4th place. He's got ahead of Tim Clark actually. We've missed that on the cameras. But Martin Robinson moved up ahead of Tim Clark, with Callum Brule just close behind Tim. I think that will be Tim trying to get rid of some of his penalty as well, possibly, because he's only got 0.2 to get rid of now. But this group is certainly keeping the leaders honest. Last time out, the front two ran away with this race, but these 4 cars, as Callum goes very wide through that corner. Luckily, nice bit of run up for him to step onto there. I'm going to stay with this battle onto the main straight as they come through the penultimate corner and into the final corner. The start-finish line is actually a long way along the straight, which means that if somebody gets a good run out the final corner, there's a good chance they're going to be able to close this gap on the way to the line on the final lap. It might be your best chance. And again, Nathan and Ryan down the main straight, side by side into the first corner. Who's going to brake latest again? It's Nathan, but Ryan cuts back to the inside beautifully. There's so much respect between these two drivers out there at the moment. This could turn into a horrible accident without respect. But Nathan has took the lead. That was set up out the final corner and took until turn 2 to actually complete. But Ryan is coming back at him, and we can't take our eyes off these two. They're just separated by 2 seconds constantly. Looking further back though, just to see, we've got Trevor Randall pulling Martin Robinson along, and these two have left the teammates behind in Callum Brule, who has got past Tim Clark. I believe probably when Tim's trying to get rid of his penalty again, Callum trying to get rid of his. It's whether these two groups can work together to catch these two leaders. We're going to look a bit further back. There's Jay Elliott, who's made his way now past Eric Minion in 7th after running very wide at turn 1 on the opening lap. But he's now got 4-second gaps to Tim Clark to close up. As you can see close behind us, Jay Elliott, Eric Minion and Kieran Callaghan all heading down the straight. Jay trying to break the toe, but Eric following him. But we won't be close enough to move there. We look further back, we've got Andrew Maffa and Sam Dinlow fighting for 10th place here. Sam going for a move, and will outbrake Mr. Maffa down into turn 1. Will Andrew get the cutback? Doesn't look like it, as there's a titanic battle in for 12th place between Jack Cameron, Peter Harris and our newcomer Rory 7. Those three were side by side all the way down the straight, but we're going to cut back to the leaders, and look at this. Trevor Randall and Martin Robinson have pulled themselves into this fight for the lead, and Ryan Sandell isn't exactly back in the field up. He's still on the current fastest lap of the race. So Trevor and Martin have done a great job to get onto the back of this. Further back, you can see Tim Clark and Callum Bruce still hanging on in there. We are going to have a 6-car fight for the lead of this race. Nathan, you just saw running slightly wider to get the run onto the back straight. You can run so many different lines through that final corner, depending on whether you're defending or trying to get a run on somebody. But Nathan in the slipstream heads alongside. There's a new fastest lap there for Ryan Sandell, 1:32.4. But Nathan is using the slipstream well, and he's going to run Great Ryan into turn 1. Repeated every other move we've seen so far in this race between these two, and it is holding them up. Trevor Randall and Martin Robinson are there and are going to be joined by a Team White duo of Callum and Tim before very long, and we still have over half this race to go. 11 minutes 30 on the clock. Thinking about the whole of the Club 100 element of this, as Martin runs wide there but still hangs on to the back of Trevor. Going off the Club 100 element of this series, we're now looking at Trevor Randall, one of the most successful drivers, well, possibly the most successful driver we have in the field at Club 100, multiple heavyweight champion and super heavyweight champion over the years, numerous times. I think it's 3 or 4 times he's been champion. I'm just trying to think, we might have another champion in the field somewhere. I think Tim Clark has won. There's certainly drivers who have won races, as Martin Robinson, a rookie in Club 100, now goes against Mr. Randall himself. Can't quite do it. Trevor defends well into the hairpin, but these two are now losing touch with the leaders slightly. But they have definitely dropped Tim Clark and Callum Brewer, who, as a team, are probably the best team on the grid so far this season. Consistently as close as you can get and scoring good points constantly. As you can see, their team is the only team with 2 cars in the top 6 at the moment. So great news for them in terms of the championship, but they'll be wanting to cling on to that, to close that 2.5 second gap to the top 4. Further back, we still have Jay Elliott running by himself slightly. He's dropped Eric Mignon to a point. I can't see him closing up on this top 6 unless there's a mistake. Penalty there for Eric Mignon. He's trying to get that down to track limits. Callum Ryan moved up into 9th after qualifying 11th. And the battle still rages on between Peter Harris and Rory Seven for the wooden spoon at the back of the grid. Rory doing well to hold on, considering he hasn't had practice in these cars and literally jumped in this afternoon. But there we are, as predictable as you can believe, as and Trevor's having a look at the inside now, but as predictable, Nathan and Ryan Sandell alongside each other. But we now officially have a 4-car fight again for the lead of this race. Ryan Sandell, Nathan Maxman, Trevor Randall and Martin Robinson. And in terms of, again, Club 100 experience, you've got Trevor there with all his championships. Ryan Sandell has done a few races. He's not the most experienced Club 100 racer we could have. Nathan Maxman only started this season in Sprint 60, I believe, or Sprint 60 on Saturday. Finished 4th on his debut, so the pace is there, but also the race experience isn't. So most of his race experience will be in a lower class or online, so he is showing some real good race skill against Ryan Sandell over his first 2 rounds of the championship. And again, Martin Robinson, a rookie to Club 100 this season, I believe, and certainly showing the way against the Club 100, his teammate, Club 100 test driver Sam Dimolo. Here we go along the straight, 7.5 minutes to go in this race. And Martin Robinson now making Trevor Randall defend down into turn 1. Oh, Martin's caught the inside. Oh, it's side by side. He's literally in the pit lane, but Trevor manages just to outbrake Martin into the corner. But this has allowed the front two to get away, where we can see Nathan Maximum has again retaken the lead off Ryan Sander. These two are swapping more times than an Alpha Tauri seat. They're swapping positions left, right and centre. It's pretty much a straight every single time. We're on lap 9. I could probably tell you there's been at least 9 lead changes in this race between these drivers. Nathan Maximum leads with a 3/10 lead over Ryan Sander. Top 2 in the championship going hammer and tongs. Martin Robinson, I missed that, but has retaken the fastest lap of the race at this moment in time. It was Nathan who got it last time out when he won at Auto Police. But we look further behind, and actually Martin Robinson has took third off Trevor, and Trevor is now cutting back, and look how close this is between the two. We'll go on board if we can. Can't go on board at the moment for some reason, the cameras aren't working, but Trevor Randall goes up the inside of Martin Robinson to retake that position, and these have dropped away from the leaders now, and if anything may have to watch out for Tim Clark and Callum Brill coming up behind, because that team train of 5th and 6th place, Tim Clark and Callum, are just slowly edging up on Trevor and Martin, and the more they battle, the more they've got a chance of getting through. But we also have a change up for lead again with Ryan Sandell moving back ahead of Nathan Maxwell. As Ryan is now currently on the fastest lap of the race at the moment. I'm just going to back out to try and get the cameras to work properly. As we now go back to the front of the field and on board with Ryan Sandell, you can see in the mirror in the bottom right, Nathan going for the cutback to get a good run onto the straight. Quick correction there by Ryan Sandell as they go along the straight again, and if you watch that mirror in the bottom right, you'll just see Nathan getting closer and closer under the slipstream, and will probably take a dive. Here he comes, it's fast lap of the race, Ryan with a 1:32.0, a great lap there. Will we see a 1:31 at some point in this race? I'm not sure of it, to be honest, but it's close enough. As Nathan retakes the lead, outbraking him into turn 1. Go on board with Nathan himself. He's getting quicker and quicker, and his best lap is 3/10 off the fastest lap. No reason he can't try and claim that accolade. Trevor on board with Martin Robinson here though. This is the closest battle outside the top 2 with 3rd and 4th place respectively. 0.3 of a second. Martin finished down in 12th place in race 1, so he's certainly looking for a much stronger result and would love to get that podium. But 4th place would really put his championship back on track and really help himself and teammate Sam Dimolo in the Constructors' Championship, or the Team's Championship as we may as well call it. But Martin keeping the car under control, looking like he's going to take a run at Trevor down the main straight again. So we'll go on board with Martin as he cuts out onto the straight. Trevor going defensive before we've even reached pit lane entrance. And you will see the slipstream slowly closing up. Here goes Martin, he's got the slipstream now. There's no gap on that inside. He pushes, bump drafts Trevor along. I think that's a hint to Trevor, let's get back with them leaders. Trevor goes slightly, which helps Martin under the braking, but that bump draft is certainly saying to me that Martin is thinking they can capture leaders, but I doubt it with 2.5 minutes to go and Nathan and Ryan having a 3-second lead over these two. So we're back with the two leaders, 0.2 of a second between them. Absolutely nose to tail as Nathan looks around the outside. No, it's not going to work, my friend. You're not going to get around the outside of that corner. But these two, the biggest gap has been 0.5 second between them all race. Very similar to how Auto Police went, where Ryan fell back at the end by about a second when Nathan took the win. But we're now back onto the pit straight again, and we will see exactly the same as we've seen all race. Nathan will catch a slipstream and go for a move, and I think both of these drivers know that this is going to happen lap after lap. And with 1 minute 24 remaining, this will be the last lap, so this is their last chance to make this slipstream work. Ryan goes defensive because of it. Nathan looks around the outside, he turns in, the two cars are side by side. Nathan gets a little bit of curb, which means Ryan just gets a better run out, but Nathan is still there and will have the inside for turn 3. But Ryan keeps it pinned around the outside, keeps it within track limits just about, and holds on to the win, the position. But these two will certainly continue to dig at each other around this final lap. We're going to head down to the corner where the chicane's been. Ryan out quite wide there. Hopefully hasn't picked up any penalties for that. But it's 0.2 of a second of the gap. Ryan holding on, will want to get his revenge on Nathan after the opening round where they qualified in these two positions. I think Nathan just caught the grass there, but Ryan went in deep. Nathan is going to have a run onto this final straight. Will he have a dive at this final corner? Ryan keeps it tight. Nathan goes out wide. Will he get the cutback on the exit? It's a very long straight if you get the right run. Here we go, all the way to the line. That's it. Race is over and we're going to cross the line. Will Nathan get it on the line? It's going to be so close between these two, and Ryan takes it just by 22 thousandths of a second. How close! If the line had been any further forward, Nathan would have taken that victory. We look further back. Trevor Randall just got the best for Martin Robinson in the end for third place. A great result for Martin in fourth. Tim Clark and Callum Brewell in sixth. Jay Elliott seventh. Keith Callywright eighth. Eric Mignon ninth. Sam Dimlow 10th. Andrew Maffer 11th. 12th for Jack Cameron. Rory Seven comes home 13th. And here we are, Peter Harris crosses the line to finish in 14th to match his race 1 results. What a race that was between the two leaders again, but it was great to see the top 6 cars very close on pace throughout that race. But there's your winner, Ryan Sandell, taking the win for the team Pink, and great constructors points as well. I think also Ryan took the fastest lap, which was a 32.0 in the end, so if you think you can beat that, take the Porsche out on Fuji Short and let us know. So going into the next race where the grid will be reversed, as long as we don't have any server issues like last week, we will have Peter Harris on pole position and a back row of Ryan Sandell and Nathan Maximum. Rory Seven will start second on the grid, which will be a great place for him to start, away from the trouble of the opening few corners. Jack Cameron will start third from Andrew Maffer, Sam Dimlow 5th, Eric Mignon 6th, Keith Calloway 7th, Jay Elliott 8th, Callum Brule 9th, Tim Clark 10th, and then there'll be Martin Robinson 11th, Trevor Randolph 12th, Nathan Maxman 13th, and Ryan Sandell 14th. Those top 6 will be very interesting to see how they come back through. But as we haven't had this changeover before, what you will see now is the track will change. We will now be going to WeatherTech Laguna Seca, where we'll be running the reverse grid on a 30-minute race, not 30-second race, that would be too quick, a 30-minute race with ×3 tyre wear. So these drivers will be able to, they don't have to change tyres, but they have the option to in that 30-minute race, and we haven't had this yet, so we don't know whether a driver will decide to, as Sam says, we have a 9:45 start, so in about 10 minutes. We don't know if drivers are going to change how they race compared to the shorter sprint race format you've just seen. We might see the drivers pit for tyres. There's no fuel load difference, so it'll be interesting to see. But I'm going to take a short 5-minute break before we head to the next race, and it will stay on the same stream, so I'll just leave this running as we are. I'll put the cameras onto the circuit just in case some people decide to go out, as you can see there. Bit of sneaky practice there for some of the drivers. And just seeing who is currently out there already. Eric Mignon there in his Gulf McLaren. I will be back in about 5 minutes once I've had a rest and took in that brilliant opening race we've just seen there. And the next race will be starting at 9:45. back, and here we are at WeberTech Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey County. First opened in 1957 with a 2.238 mile circuit. Has 180 feet of elevation and 11 turns. It's one of my favourite circuits, I think, especially out of the American circuits, bringing back some of the historic moments in the corkscrew of Alex Zanardi and Brian Hurst going side by side, and more recently in the MotoGP with Valentino Rossi and Casey Stoner going side by side down that sharp corkscrew. The lap record around this circuit is 1 minute 7.722, but that was done in a single-seater kart back in 2000 by Helio Castro Neves. These days, the faster type of cars don't often race around the circuit due to its close walls and safety nature, but built in a dry lake basin, you can see from the sides of the track that one little mistake is going to cost you at least a few positions during the race. We'll be looking at more slower lap times. I'm not 100% sure sort of where we'll be looking at for these lap times. We'll have a look. We've got 1:27 there by Kirif at the top of the timesheets at the moment. If he's coming around to finish lap, yes he is. We'll go on board with Kirif and show you a lap of this Laguna Seca Raceway while these guys are practicing ready for the reverse grid 30-minute race that will be coming up in about 3 minutes time. So on board with Kirif, we go across the start-finish line straight into a series of curves on the start-finish straight, as they call it, down into the Andretti hairpin. Really crucial to get a good run through here. Double apex corner. If you run out wide, you're not going to gain any time whatsoever. Into turn 3, you could call it. It just depends on the numbering. With those at the start, as you can see Jack go flying off there at turn 4, and through each of these corners miss the sausage curves on the inside or run them down the middle of your car. You do not want to hit them hard like Callum just did in front there, because they will throw you off wide and slow you down. This is a crucial corner to head up the hill to the corkscrew. Just got to nip that corner right, because if you get it wrong you will be sent right wide into the gravel and into the infamous corkscrew section. Left, right, second gear, switch up into third just to stop the wheel spin. And this corner, you can just run over that curb on the left hand side if you get your middle of your car into it, but resting the apexes as Callum runs wide there as well into the final corner. Callum trying to get out the Kirif's way, it looks like. Each of these corners seem to be a don't push too hard sort of track, if you get what I mean. You don't want to start braking late and making mistakes. It's quicker just to dial it back a little bit and not be running over the gravel on the exit corners, as we see Trevor Randall has gone quickest with a 26.0 in this practice. If you missed the end of the last race, we had a side-by-side finish between our championship leaders Ryan Sandell and Nathan Maximum. Those guys will be top of the championship for now, equal on points, 1 race win, 1 second place and 1 fastest lap each. Ryan Sandell taking 2 pole positions so far. No qualification for this race, as I stated at the end of the previous round. This is round 4 currently. We did miss round 2 due to connection issues. But this will be a reverse grid race. Each team, well, not even each team, each driver will pick which car they want. As you can see now, Kirif is in the Group 4 Audi TT. We have teams who have run the same cars, so as Sam starts the final, so we'll head straight to that rather than going through all the cars. You'll see on this grid the front row of Peter Harris and our replacement for Freddie Gallagher tonight, Rory 7, on this reverse grid. In third place you'll see Jack Cameron, fourth Andrew Maffa, Sam Dimolo in fifth, and Eric Mignon in sixth. Complete reverse grid of last results. We're going to look at the pole man. There is Rory 7 alongside the grid. Lights are out and we're away, and it's a great start by Rory 7 to take the lead from Peter Harris. Jack Cameron also getting up the inside, but Rory 7 running away with this nice clean run into the Andretti hairpin. Jack Cameron in second. Peter Harris holding on to third just about from Eric Mignon, as Tim Clark moves up into fourth. That is crucial. I said at the last race, the top six being at the back of the grid, it'd be interesting to see who takes advantage of that, and the early people are Tim Clark and Callum Brewer, two teammates that are in the Jaguars, taking advantage, moving up to fourth and fifth place already. And look who's behind, Nathan Maxman from back row of the grid from 13th place, already up into 6th in his golf colour McLaren, with Trevor Randall close behind him. The TT, actually Trevor's going to have a look at this into the corkscrew, thinking better of it. But we already have 4 of the top 6 from the last race into the top 8 in this race, and it's not even the end of the opening lap. But we'll head forward and we see Rory 7 currently leading the first race as he runs a little bit wide in that final corner. This is his first event with us, replacing Freddie Gallagher, and he's now under pressure from Jack Cameron heading down to the Andretti hairpin. Jack chooses the outside, chooses the racing line a little bit more grippy, tries to squeeze, but he's through. Rory fights back on the inside line and takes. What a comeback there by Rory. Jack Cameron now having to defend from Peter Harris. We've got 3 different mates here. We've got the McGann in the lead. Peter runs wide there. The Dodge Viper of Jack Cameron, racing green Dodge Viper. Peter Harris in the Audi TT, and then the Jaguar of Tim Clark closing in to this battle, and he'll be looking to try and get through this as quick as possible and pull out the lead, because right behind him now is Trevor Randall. Now Trevor has had 2 third places in this championship so far out of the 2 races, and he is now sitting 5th after starting 12th, and we've got chaos, absolute chaos at the corkscrew. We've got 4 abreast at times. Trevor and Tim trying to take advantage of this. Rory 7, I'm not sure what happened there. I saw Jack Cameron off the track at one point, but we now have a new leader in Peter Harris, the pole man who finished last in the last race and 14th in round 1 as well, looking to kick-start his championship, and it will be defence all the way, I think, by Peter as he crosses the line to lead the second lap of this race. We've got half an hour, 26 minutes, well, just under 27 minutes remaining actually, with Peter Harris now leading in his pink Club 100 TT, with the sign of Nicky Hayden on the side door of the 69 there, in respect of Nicky Hayden, who was a great motorcycle racer, especially around this Laguna Seca circuit, his home track. But we look behind to see Trevor Randall move up into 2nd place. It's only lap 3. He's come from 12th on the grid to move up into 2nd in the race, and Peter will start feeling the pressure soon. Trevor is absolutely flying and has left the other championship contenders behind for now, which is all important. Trevor will be looking to get into that lead and get some clear air and pull away. Jack Cameron now defending from Tim Clark, and Nathan Maxman, joint championship leader, in 5th. Rory 7 still holding on in 6th ahead of Callum Brewer, and Ryan Sandell moved up into the top 8 on this lap. But we're looking at our front 2. We will now go, if we can, I'm going to have to back out and go back in to use the cameras, but we will have a look at Trevor Randall having a look at Peter Harris down into turn 1 here, and Peter slid slightly wide. Trevor is alongside. Where is Peter Harris? Is he still alongside? Looking at the time, and he is, but looking at the mirrors, he is not, and Trevor Randall leads this race at Laguna Seca. He will be looking to pull away now and use Peter Harris in second place as a buffer to hopefully let him win this race. We obviously don't know what tyres these drivers are on. Looking at the graphics, it looks like Trevor might be on the racing soft tyres, so if he believes they will get all the way to the end, he will continue running them. We've got the same with Peter Harris, with racing mediums there on Jack Cameron's Viper in third place, who's under pressure from Tim Clark, who is on the super softs. An aggressive strategy, but he's just lost out to Nathan Maximum. Again, he's on the super softs, so he's hoping these tyres will last all the way to the end as he makes it around the outside of Jack Cameron and moves into third place. Now this is all important because Ryan Sandell has actually dropped out of the top 8. We'll just filter back and try and find Ryan as we see Callum having a look at Rory 7. We'll stay with this battle for a moment, but we go down into the Andretti hairpin and Rory 7 defends from Callum. Will Callum stick his nose up the inside? He will. Oh, twitch under braking. Oh, I didn't realise Callum's actually trying to defend from Sam Dimolo, who's looking around the outside. This train of cars, there's Sam on the soft tyres, Callum on the soft tyres. We've got super softs on, oh that's Sam Dimolo, sorry, that was Martin Robinson looking around the outside. And there's Kiev Kalirai running the softs, and the softs on Ryan Sandell as well, as we see Roy 7 run wide ahead. The front row man falling back through the field now into 10th place. As we see Callum and Martin fighting just in front, but this is crucial for Ryan Sandell's championship. 2 great first races, as we see Jack Cameron, who's just ran right into the gravel. You can see the green Dodge Viper there just behind Ryan. He was running up in the top 6 and has made a mistake there to lose that position. Ryan down in 8th, while his championship rivals are 1st and 3rd in this race. As we see Callum Bruhl run wide there, as there's contact behind as Ryan tries to pass Kiev Kalirai. It looks like he's done Callum Bruhl as well, so up into 6th place Ryan Sandell. He must have made a mistake somewhere because he had moved up into 8th in the race earlier on, and it looks like he must have made some kind of mistake running wide. Very easy to do here at Laguna Seca, but he will be looking to try and push into the top 4 now, really. Past him for his championship challenge. But we cut back to our leader, Trevor Randall, leading, stretching out his lead. He's got a 1.8 second lead now ahead of Peter Harris, holding his own in the TT actually. Peter, who's finished 14th in 2 races so far, did a little better I believe in the non-championship race, but it's the championship races with points that count. There's Peter with his Iron Man helmet going into the corkscrew. Such an identifiable driver. A half second penalty, he won't be concerned about that. He'll be happy to be competitive here. 2 seconds of Trevor Randall, and 1.3 behind is the current championship leader Nathan Maximum. As we can see Peter lagging slightly, but it's not affecting anybody else, who will be allowed to continue. In 4th place we've got Tim Clark. He seems to be stuck around 4th place. Moved up early on, looked to be really taking advantage of the reverse grid, but is stuck now in 4th place. Martin Robinson there with 1.1 second penalty for track limits. He's there in 5th place, severe damage on front of his car, and he is being closed down rapidly by Ryan Sandell. Ryan really looking to keep that championship going. We'll look further back. There's Callum Bruhl being pushed back to about 9th, hasn't made the same progress as his teammate. And this queue of cars is huge from probably Martin Robinson 5th. You could split it back to Andrew in 10th. There's Rory 7 from the front row, falling back to 11th. On his debut, Jay Elliott, very quiet by him in this Dodge Viper. Clips a curve there, runs wide, still has to slow down to get rid of. He'll be looking to get past Rory 7. But Jay will certainly have wanted more from this race early on. He's still got 20 minutes to go. And as they say, slow and steady wins the race, but I don't think he will have a chance to catch our leaders at this stage. Close behind is his teammate Jack Cameron, and then 20 seconds back is Eric Mignon. Not sure what's happened there with Eric, but just make sure the displays are on so we can try and see what tyres people are on. There we go, he's on the super soft tyres who may have pitted. But we will go back to our leader. There is Trevor Randall on the soft tyres, looking at the data, looking pretty good at the moment. Whether he'll be able to run the whole race on soft tyres, I'm not too sure. Trevor is one of the only drivers we actually have on a controller tonight, which makes his pace even more remarkable, to be honest. But that will harm his tyre wear because you don't have the smoothness to be able to that you can have with wheel. 18, just under 19 minutes to go as Trevor continues to lead this race. 2.3 seconds in the lead over Nathan Maximum. We've missed, I apologise, we missed this further on. Nathan Maximum up into second place, Tim Clark into third, and there is Pete Harris still in the top 4, holding on really well. He's got a 2.1 second lead over Martin Robinson, and he'll be looking to try and cement that, keep in a good position. He's on the soft tyres, few running super soft, so it'll be interesting to see whether Peter comes back during the rest of the race. Martin Robinson there closing down with still Ryan Sandell behind him. Ryan really not making the progress he wanted to make in this race at this current stage, but 17 minutes to go, plenty of time to go to catch up with the leaders if he can find the pace. Oh, we just look ahead and Peter Harris has run wide at turn 3. He will now have to be on the defensive against Martin Robinson as they head up the hill towards the corkscrew. He manages to hold him off through the corner, but runs a little bit wide again, and it's allowed Ryan a chance to have a nibble at Martin. Will he dive up? No, he thinks better of it as Peter runs wide again, and he's going to lose 2 positions there. One to Ryan Sandell and also to Martin Robinson. Ryan now looks around the outside of the corkscrew. What a move by Ryan Sandell. Drives right round the outside of Martin Robinson into the corkscrew. What a move that was, and that could be a championship defining move at the end of it. This is quite a short championship with 8 races in it over 4 weeks. As Peter Harris again runs wide behind. Peter not having the race he was after there, and he lets Sam Dimolo through as well. In terms of the teams, the best placed team at the moment is possibly Martin Robinson and Sam Dimolo, the 2 guys who ended up colliding on the opening lap of race 1 are now running 5th and 6th in this race and looking on for some strong points here. As Ryan sets the fastest lap, the fastest sector for sector 1, is this now the start of Sandell's charge towards the top 3. He's got just under 5.5 seconds to close up on Tim Clark in 3rd place, and 9 seconds to the lead. We will just flick forward if I can find the leaders. Oh, that's wide by Martin Robinson, and that's going to allow his teammate Sam Dimolo to close up. Now, will there be some team orders here of Sam asking saying, I'm more experienced, I'm quicker, I can make it past, or will Martin just hold his ground? Looks like Martin's going to hold his ground, but he has got a penalty. There's no penalty for Sam at the moment, so good team tactics. As Sam Dimlow pits, our first pit stop of the season, and Peter Harris is also in on the soft tyres, so this is interesting. The super softs seem to be able to go 15 minutes, but not for the whole race. Andrew Maffa also in on the soft tyres, as Sam Dimlow pulls up to his garage. The bright yellow Alda TT, the team goes to work, all 4 tyres changed, no fuel needed, and away he goes again. That was a very good stop, and he comes out on the soft tyres. There's Andrew Maffa pulling away, and Peter Harris has already pulled away. So that's three cars that felt the need to pit. So does that mean the rest will feel the need? We've come back to our leaders, and there is Trevor Randall, and Nathan Maximum has caught him on. Nathan not set the fastest lap of the race, but consistently quicker than Trevor to be able to catch him up. You can see there a couple of P's on Trevor's times down the right hand side, so that's probably a couple of penalties Trevor's had to get rid of. But his soft tyres starting to run out at front, and he decides to pit. So Trevor pits and Nathan at the same time. It's going to be a race between the pit crews as Tim Clark continues on round, so he will take the lead of this race, but we'll concentrate on these 2 championship contenders. Crucially, Ryan Sandell carries on. That could be important for his championship if he can go the whole race without changing tyres. So Trevor pits, quick stop by his crew, and he'll be away in the Alta TT. He is away. We'll look back. There's Nathan Maxwell close behind, and Martin Robinson also in the pits there. So the team yellow cars both pitting. They were close together before, so here comes Martin. There goes his teammate, so that worked for Sam Dimlow to move up past his teammates. There we go, as they come out to pit, Sam Dimlow is ahead of Martin Robinson, so that's a reversal in positions. It's also worked for Jay Elliott to continue on his medium tyres. He's obviously looking not to pit in this race, and that might have explained his slower pace earlier on. But did he get caught up too much in traffic to make this work? We'll head back to our current on-track leaders, Tim Clark, out there on the super soft tyres, but they are looking quite healthy according to the graphic. Will Tim feel the need to pit? No, he doesn't. Super tyre saving here by Tim Clark. He is looking to go to the end of this race surely with these tyres. He's already got the softest compound possible on. He's got 12 minutes to go, and those tyres are looking pretty healthy, and the lap times are too, apart from the last lap, which looks like a little mistake there. But he's looking just under 6 seconds clear of our joint championship leader with Nathan Maximum, Ryan Sandell in the pink Dodge Viper. You will not miss that going around any circuit, especially the yellow background of Laguna Seca here in the desert bed. Ryan on the softer tyres, actually looking worse than Tim Clark, so it's a super tyre saving effort there by Tim. Will Ryan feel the need to bang on some super softs near the end? We'll see. 5 seconds back. In third place is Kurt Callery on the soft tyres again, and look how well he's looked after his rear tyres there. I'm sure these top 3 are thinking of trying to make it all the way through to the end of the race. That's the only explanation about why they have stayed out this little bit longer, or they think there's going to be some advantage at the end with the tyre life. But here is our former leader, Trevor Randall. Banged the soft tyres on again, and now currently on fastest lap of the race, 3 tenths quicker than his own lap. And he's trying to stretch away from Nathan Maximum. This could be, if the top 3 pit, this is the net race lead, as Nathan runs, almost ran back into a pit lane there. But this could be the net race lead between these 2 if the others don't pit. If not, Trevor's got a lot of work to do as he sets a 25.984, a mega lap there by Trevor Randall. He's absolutely on fire around Laguna Seca today. He's got just under 13 seconds to close down in 10 minutes on Tim Clark. And Tim has been consistent throughout. Will he be able to do this? I'm not 100% sure, but second place could be on the cards. You can just see Ryan going through in the distance as Tim closes down on Kirif Cali Wright. Kirif, who we've seen on the Club 100 iRacing Championship as well, racing here for the Frey Bentos team with teammate Andrew Maffa, as Trevor looks to the outside of Kirif's TT. Kirif is really not giving in here, but Trevor, with the extra grip of the new tyres, is going to ram the outside of the corkscrew and into a net third place. Next we'll be seeing whether Nathan Maximum in the blue McLaren can make his way past Kirif as well. He'll be looking to get through as quickly as possible to chase down Trevor Randall, because those two are on the same strategy. Nathan ducks out of the slipstream for a moment and then tucks back in as they head down to the Andretti hairpin for the 15th time. He's just too far back. Kirif even defends slightly, so I do think Kirif is trying to get to the end of the race on these tyres. We're going to just look further back in the pack. 10 seconds further back we did have Callum Brule, but he's just ran wide and allowed Sam Dimolo through for what is probably Sam's best showing of the season so far, up in 6th place so far. Oh, and he clips the gravel as I say that, but just holds on to it and stays ahead of Callum. In 8th is Martin Robinson. He's ran wide there at turn 4. This race not quite going to plan for Martin. He was ahead of Sam at one point as teammate, but 8th place is still a good result so far. But he has to watch out for Peter Harris close behind. Peter started on pole position on the reverse grid and held on to 3rd for quite a while, but fell back and has now regrouped and is running in a strong 9th place for currently his best result of the season, that would be. In 10th you got Andrew Maffa. Quiet race for Andrew at the moment. He's 5 seconds off Peter Harrison, 8 ahead of Jack Cameron, who we saw flying through the field last week at Waterfalls, but this week just has not gone to plan for him, and Jack will be hoping for better next week. On debut here is Rory 7 facing Freddie Gallagher. Rory doing a solid job, and he jumped into the cars today and certainly doing a solid job at scoring some points for the team, whilst Trevor continues his relentless pace up front. There's Jay Elliott, obviously needed to pit off his tyres at that point, put super softs on, but it does not seem to be yielding much success with the big Dodge Viper around this Laguna Seca circuit. And there is Eric Mignon running in 14th at the moment. Obviously had an issue early in the race that we missed. But back to the front, here is Tim Clark continuing not to pit. We've got, I believe, 3 drivers out on the track who have not pitted. That's Tim Clark in 1st, Ryan Sandell in 2nd, who now has Trevor Randall, his championship rival, all over the back of him. We have the championship battle here. Ryan Sandell 2nd, Trevor Randall 3rd, and Nathan Maximum in 4th, closing in. Ryan struggling for grip, just couldn't get turned into the Andretti hairpin there. And Trevor really looking like he's just biding his time. He knows he can get past, and with 5 minutes remaining, or just under 6 minutes remaining, it's going to be really difficult for him to close the 10-second gap to Tim Clark. But he's certainly, Ryan's making it a lot harder for him to make it past. As Trevor goes round the outside, Ryan's going to give him room. Trevor is not going to be able to just drive around the outside of this corner though, is he? He's holding on there and he gets a run up to the corkscrew. These cars are still side by side heading towards the corkscrew. But Trevor has done it on his fresh tyres. What a move by Trevor Randall. He is on fire around this track. Couldn't quite keep pace in the first race, but in this race he has been the quickest driver on the circuit by far. Now Ryan has to hold back his championship rival Nathan Maximum. These two are equal on points in the championship at the moment. As Nathan looks to the outside, is Ryan going to give him room? Yes he is, and I think Nathan will just drive straight out the corner past him. What a move there by Nathan. Ryan will fight back into Andretti, but I think Ryan will just be happy to continue in 4th place with his older tyres. Remembering he has not stopped. So now we look forward to the leader, Tim Clark. He has a 10.1 second lead with 4.5 minutes remaining. Trevor Randall and Nathan Maximum on fresh tyres chasing him down. They're going to have to come up with something like 2 seconds a lap difference. And if you look down that timing tower on the right hand side, I cannot see that happening. Tim Clark has been banging in the lap times consistently, 27.0 to 27.5 for a good 7-8 laps. Only the last lap dipped into the 28s. Meanwhile, Trevor Randall has been fighting his way through, so we haven't really got a clear observation of what his lap times are. But his best is only a 25.9. I doubt he'll be able to set that 25.9 every single lap from now on to close down on Tim Clark. He's gained 5 tenths in this first lap. But more importantly for Trevor, he has to hold off Nathan Maximum. This is so crucial for the championship. Nathan has had a 1st and 2nd so far. Ryan in 4th, a 1st and 2nd so far. Only 2 3rd places for Trevor Randall, so he will be looking to cut that lead slightly by holding these two off and hopefully picking up any pieces if Tim Clark does have an incident of any kind. But he has been in relentless control of this race in the white Jaguar number 5 car, and we're now on lap 19, possibly looking 2 to go now. And I really can't see them closing the gap, so Tim will just need to keep it on the circuit. But we will look back at 2nd place because this is all important for the championship. Nathan Maximum all over the back of Trevor Randall heading towards corkscrew. Trevor defends. You can tell by the body language of Trevor's car that he is now defending this 2nd place rather than chasing down the win. He has to keep Nathan Maximum behind him. It is all important. He cannot let Nathan continue his relentless charge. 2 completely different ends of the Club 100 spectrum here. Trevor, massively experienced in Club 100 karts, been racing them for a good number of years, numerous championships in the cars as he defends from Nathan. Nathan looking around the outside, that's not going to work, my friend. If he had been slightly alongside, I don't think Trevor would have given him room, but Trevor placing the car perfectly, knowing when to defend. Nathan diving out, trying to look in his mirrors. As Trevor defends again, down to turn 5, Nathan looking for the cutback, but Trevor is too clever for that. He'll park it on the apex just like that, and Nathan just gives him a little nudge up the hill. For some reason a penalty there for Trevor for that. I don't understand that. He didn't do anything wrong there. It was just Nathan running into the back of him because Trevor parked it on the apex. Shouldn't be a penalty there, and I'm sure that will be appealed if needs be. We'll go on board with Nathan now as he looks for every way which past Trevor Randall. He'll look up the inside here. Trevor defends hot by half a car, goes slightly, which might help Nathan, but they both get run out heading back across the stripe. We have 30 seconds remaining. This is the final lap now. Nathan lines him up for the Andretti hairpin. Trevor defends. Nathan again looking around the outside. Has he done it? I don't think he will. There's Trevor on the left hand side, and Trevor just holds him off. What a battle between these two drivers at the moment. We've got 7, 6. Trevor defends. Oh, that was cutting it close between the two drivers. Trevor will be driving the white line for the rest of this race. He will block on the inside here and parking on the apex again, stopping Nathan getting the cutback. He didn't even need to park it, he got such a good exit. 7/10 of a second penalty there for Trevor. I'm sure that will be overturned. There's no reason for that not to be overturned, in my opinion, and that will be mentioned with the stewards after the race. But Trevor defends into the corkscrew. Nathan still looking his way round. Nathan very inexperienced in Club 100, but not inexperienced on GTSport. And he's wide onto the gravel. Trevor will defend into the final corner, but heading up towards the line now is Tim Clark, who takes his first win of the season. As these two now run towards the line, who is going to take it? Nathan's very close on the drag to the line, but it's Trevor Randall. Oh, I'm not sure who got that. That was very much a photo finish. Ryan Sandell comes in home in fourth. The computer says Nathan has took second, but I'm really not sure about that. We'll have to have a look. Sam Dimilo comes home in fifth for his best result of the season. A great drive there by Sam. Curve car right in sixth. That was a solid drive considering he did not pit during the race. And look at his front tyres, his rear's in great condition. 8th for Andrew Maffett, 9th for Peter Harris, and 10th for Callum. But victory goes to Tim Clark. A great drive, decided not to pit and took advantage by keeping the pace consistent throughout the race. Now just to finish off them results, we have Peter Harris in 9th, Callum Brule in 10th, teammate to the race winner Tim Clark, 11th on debut for the McGann Trophy car of Rory 7, Jay Elliott and Jack Cameron both hoping for better from 12th and 13th, with Eric Mignon in 14th. But what a drive there by Tim Clark to take the victory in the F-Type. The only person really to make the non-stop work. An initial pit stop by Nathan and Trevor looked to be the way to go. Their times were certainly quick enough to close the gap, but having to overtake the traffic as well, and Ryan Sandell in fourth really putting up a battle. It's going to be really close throughout this championship on who does what, but I can see in the chat privately there is something about Trevor's penalty, so that may be swapped so that Trevor can get second place out of that race, because it certainly wasn't a penalty, it was an in-game penalty that was wrong. So I will ensure that will be spoke about during the week and towards the championship. But one thing I can tell you right now is Nathan Maximum leads the championship with a first, a second, and possibly a second or a third from that race from Ryan Sandell, who has a first, a second and a fourth, and third will be Trevor Randall with 2 thirds and a second or a third, depending on that appeal. What a race we had there from the Club 100 boys. We will be back next week with, if I just look at the calendar, we will be heading to Red Bull Ring and Yamagawa. But Red Bull Ring will be a wet race as well, so that will be not one to miss with the Porsches in the wet weather. and we'll be seeing hopefully Freddie Gallagher return. Maybe Rory 7 will join us in a standalone car. We'll see what happens with all that. There is one space left on the grid if it was decided to do that. But that is it for today. They've just set up a practice lobby for next week. Actually, there you go, the wet tyres all ready for a wet race round Red Bull Ring, and we will see you at 9 o'clock on Tuesday for this race, and we will see whether Ryan Sandell, Nathan Maximum or Trevor Randall will come out on top, or will we have another new winner as we had there at Laguna Seca with Tim Clark. But all I can say is see you next Tuesday and stay safe over the next week.